Today, I want to talk about how we can help our kids to learn about their emotions and those feelings and sensations that come from within and sometimes explode. I want to tell you guys, there are some beautiful ways in which we as parents can help our kids to tune into those so that they can learn to manage or start to regulate them. You guys probably know I don't like talking about self-regulation and how we can get our kids to self-regulate their emotions. This is such a complex concept and skill that even us as adults often cannot do on our own. I talk much more about co-regulation. That is what the neuroscience is telling us to do. That's what the research shows is best practice. And we can do that ourselves, just parents. You don't have to be a therapist. So what I want to do is tell you guys a little bit about how we can shift away from just trying to maybe manage or control our kids' behavior when they're having those big emotions, but how we can, where we need to really be looking in order to support our kids and what we can do with them to build up that emotional awareness and emotional skills, emotion skills, okay? So first thing I want to say is that it is so widespread in our culture and has been for a long time now that we are obsessed with behavior management and managing our kids' behavior and controlling their behavior. It happens in classrooms, it happens in homes, and it's all about how can we make our kids be compliant, obedient, cooperate, do what they're asked, be polite, kind, respectful. Like it's that real surface level look at their behavior. So I'm not saying that we don't want our kids, we don't want to raise kids into adults who are kind and respectful and successful and driven and hardworking and resilient and empathetic. We want all that stuff. That's the way our society is going to thrive. However, I have me and a lot of other experts and educators and specialists and the scientists are telling us that we've got to shift our focus away from just the behavior and really start to understand the emotions that underlie the challenging or disruptive behavior or the explosiveness or the shutdown withdrawal. If you're thinking of maybe your child or kids you know who have anxiety and so they may avoid, shut down, withdraw, or go inward, or you may have or know kids who outwardly express those big emotions. They are loud, they are maybe aggressive, hitting, throwing, kicking, verbally lashing out, things like that. So please know that the first step to helping our kids understand emotions and deal with emotions and navigate them so that they can manage and shift their behavior is not to look at just the behavior on the surface level. We talk about not looking at the tip of the iceberg, which is the observable behavior, but looking for what is driving that. And that's, amongst other things, emotions, but also sensations coming from within, deep within our bodies. Emotions have for a long time been thought of as this cognitive construct, something that we're thinking about and feeling and noticing in our minds about how we're feeling. We have actually missed that they are these internal signals that are often coming like up from within our body. Maybe our heart feels fluttery when we're anxious or nervous. Maybe our tummy feels sick when we are not in a good situation. We feel stressed or under threat or pressure. So there's lots of different body signals that we miss as adults. We have learned not to pay attention to, or we've learned to dismiss them and ignore them. We have also learned to override those feelings and sensations. As a kid, I learned that when I was anxious or nervous and not feeling safe in a situation, which could have been in the school classroom, standing up in front of kids at assembly, that's an objectively safe situation. And yet I had these internal body signals, feelings and sensations and emotions that were telling me this is scary, there is a threat, there's danger, I can't do this, I need to get out of there. Again, objectively safe situations, but our bodies can pick up these cues that things are not okay, and our body reacts for us. So a lot of us as adults, parents and teachers and educators, have learned or been taught not to pay attention to our own body signals and our own emotions. And I talk about the fact that emotions are highly valuable insights into our functioning and how we are functioning moment to moment, what's going on for us and how we're reacting or responding, how we're going, basically. So the thing is, we need to start shifting that in our mindset and paying attention to and honoring and valuing these sensations and these emotions, so that we can do that for our kids. Because when our kids can learn to pay attention to their emotions and those feelings in their body, then they're like ahead of the 8 ball with noticing them coming up in situations and being able to label them and express them safely and like it's normal and like we do that, and to people who will listen and also honor them, and then taking steps to bring myself back to a feeling of I'm okay, I can be calm, I can regulate my emotions, and I can calm down and recenter myself and come back to focus if I'm in classroom or at home. So that's a lot. I think when we can shift away from just looking at our kids' behavior and trying to manage it through things like rewards or bribes or lots of praise or withdrawing our love or sending to timeout when they are not behaving as we like, when we get rid of that surface level stuff and we start looking at what's under the surface, and how we can help our kids to notice those signals and tell us when something's up, something's the matter, something's wrong, that they don't feel okay, or they're not ready, or they need more time, or they need some comfort. That stuff is, just think how powerful those skills are, that knowledge and that awareness. So I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to forget anything, and I took some notes about what I wanted to talk about. Something else that I want to cover quickly and just bring to your awareness is that emotions are something that we often want to help our kids to label and put some vocabulary to, but there's an innate problem with that, in that we can only see out of our own eyes, we can only feel with our own body and our own sensations. We are guessing at what our child feels. We might have a pretty good guess, we might be off the mark. We can't reliably say to our child who has a certain facial expression and body language and tone of voice and things, we can't reliably say to them, you look really sad, or you must be so frustrated. They may not be. They may be feeling something different. The situation will have been perceived differently for them compared to you, because we're all different. We all have different bodies, different awarenesses, different life experiences and everything. So there's a problem for when we prescribe how our child feels. You love this, eat it, come on. Or you're okay, it's fine. He didn't mean it, it's just a scratch. It's not itchy, wear it. Often we are prescribing how our kids feel, and that's invalidating their own emotions and their own experience. And that is really, really unhelpful, because then we are raising kids who are looking outside of themselves to how they think they should feel, not actually paying attention to their real internal bodily signals. What I'm talking about here is this awareness of those internal bodily signals is interoception. I'm going to talk more about that in another video, but just know that interoception is actually our 8th sense. We are taught that we have 5, we actually have 8. And interoception is that awareness of those inner signals and messages coming from within our body. Noticing my heart rate that's fluttering or it's calm and slow. My breathing, is it fast or slow? My skin temperature, my gut feelings, my itches and my emotions, like all these internal signals. It's really hard to pay attention to them when you're a kid because we are taught not to. We're told how to feel and they're invisible. We can't look at our heart and see what it's doing, but we can help our kids to do that. Oh my goodness, we can. Noticing when we feel something has upset them, when they feel like something's really unfair, unjust, and they're really angry maybe, we can guess, we can be curious, we can suggest, we can ask, and we can notice what they're doing with their face or with their eyes or with their hands, and we can notice and be curious about I wonder what's going on, I wonder how you're feeling, because I can see your hands are all squished up and tight and things like that, or you're breathing really fast. I'm curious how you're feeling. So let's get away from overriding our own emotions and actually paying attention to them, overriding our internal body signals. Like me and my anxiety when I was a child and a teen and in my 20s, I shoved that down. I wasn't even aware of it because I got so good at putting it away and doing the right thing. And I did not honor or value those signals. I ignored them and I overrided them. And that got me into some huge trouble. That got me into some really stressful, awful situations because I didn't listen to when I didn't feel okay. So, and that can lead kids into, dangerous situations and things like that. That can go that far into the spectrum. So please please move away from teaching your kids or feeling or just believing that emotions in themselves are weak or silly or fluffy or messy or childish. They are not a sign of weakness. They are just as much a part of ourselves as being human, as having an elbow or having eyebrows or a heart. Your emotions are part of your body and part of being human too. And I think if we change the narrative around that and we start giving our kids these messages, then things will really, really change. And if you're like me, you were probably never explicitly told, don't show your emotions. Anger is bad. Being disappointed is rude. Put them away. Bottle them up. Deal with them in your room and come out when you're happy. Some of us were explicitly really shown and taught not to show those emotions and so on. Others, we just learned that they were not received well and that it was better if we put those emotions and feelings away. We have to change that. Oh my goodness. And it starts with us, parents. So I hope that was really insightful. Please let me know what you took away from that and ask questions in the comments. And I will see you guys very soon for another video. Bye.